cross-border trade has helped greatly in enhancing the growth of economies, especially for rather developing countries like Kenya, Uganda, through the forex exchange. However, the opacity with which these cross-border transactions have been, the opacity of the cross-border transactions has literally affected so many economies, for example, economies of developing countries, which are unable to trace some cross-border transactions and then collect their revenue that's due to them. Also, we see that this opacity does affect security of the entire world, because if you see, for instance, the recent investigations that are ongoing and the reports that have been leaked by the ICIJ, which is the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, we've seen that one of the big telecom giants, Ericsson, in a bid to evade taxes and quicken their trade across Iraq, did fund one of the renowned terrorist groups, and that is really something that negatively impacts the security of the entire world. So when we see exchange of information, many taxpayers may be uncomfortable having the information shared. However, if you consider the reasons why it is shared, then you may appreciate why it's done actually. So that prompts the cooperation among states, and if only the whole world would actually cooperate, we would see so much being improved in terms of, yes, growth of economies and security-wide. So what is this exchange of information that we keep talking about? Simply put, exchange of information is the process by which jurisdictions share information among each other. And this information specifically relates to taxpayers and the way they conduct their transactions, etc. So exchange of information can be done in various ways. For example, exchange of information on request, spontaneous exchange of information, and automatic exchange of information. These are the major types of exchange of information. However, we have various other forms. For example, the simultaneous examination, tax examination boards, and also industry exchange of information, as well as country by country reporting. For today, we will look, in the interest of time, we shall consider the earlier three that I mentioned. And moving on, we'll see spontaneous exchange of information, which occurs when, say, a state is conducting a tax audit or investigation and discovers information that it deems fit to help another state with whom they have a DTA or exchange of information agreement. So it will share that information with them to maybe prompt an audit or an investigation into a particular taxpayer so they can collect the revenue due to them. So I'll just mention one of the instances where spontaneous exchange of information may be used, and that's where the competent authority or revenue authority of one member state supposes that there may be a loss of tax in the other member state, and it has information to aid the other state discover the information that may be lost. So the other and most common method or type of exchange of information is the exchange of information on request, which occurs in instances where there's an exchange of information agreement and one state has a specific case under consideration. So in this case, it will request the other state to share information with them regarding that specific case at hand. And that the other country will, based on the letter and the terms laid down in the treaty, as well as their domestic legislation, will share that information. So let's move on to automatic exchange of information. So automatic exchange of information is where, simply put, it's where financial entities do share information. So automatic exchange of information is where financial institutions do share information regarding taxpayers. with the revenue authorities, who then share the information with the other jurisdictions with whom they have agreements to share automatic exchange, to do the automatic exchange of information. So automatic exchange of information permits countries to do draft their legislations in such a way that certain secrecies, for example, bank secrecy as it earlier was, where banks cannot share any information regarding their clients who hold accounts with them, is broken. So states can draft legislations that mandate automatic collection of information by banks, foreign investors, and then share it with the revenue authority. We have seen so many countries embrace this approach because of its efficiency, unlike exchange of information on request, which has bureaucracies. By the time a letter is written and then responded to, so much time is wasted in between, and the governments continue to lose revenue. But this is quite instant and efficient. Some countries, for example, Australia and Belgium, do share information way back from 2018 and 2017, respectively. And we expect developing countries like Kenya to join in. This year, we expect Kenya to submit its first automatic exchange of information in September, and Uganda will follow through next year, September.